Welcome everybody, I am here doing some quadratic formula stuff here. So we are looking for quadratics. We are looking to use the quadratic formula, which is right here. So you can see I've written it out, and I kind of gave you a little cheat sheet here so you can kind of see where everything ends up coming from. So if we have our equation should be set up like this, equal to 0. And then we use the value in front of the x squared as your a value. Your b value is the number in front of the x, and your c value is at the end that doesn't have any variables next to it. So we're going to plug all those things into the equation once we have it set up and ready to go and solve for x. So we're going to take a look at this problem here. So it is not set up in the proper form. It's not equal to 0, so we have some stuff to do to move this stuff around, and then we can start. So the first thing I want to do is move that x by subtracting it, getting it over to the other side. I'm also going to do the same step here, is I'm going to get this 15 over there. So that's going to be added on both sides to get it all over on the other side. Now nothing is over here. This is equal to 0 like we need it to be. And then we're just going to go ahead and combine like terms. Negative 2x squared. We've got a 3x plus a negative 4x, which is going to leave me with negative x or negative 1x. And then we had no constants on this side, so now we just have the plus 15. And now everything is all set. We are going to go ahead and plug in our values. So our a is the first number in front of the x squared. The b would be the number in front of x, in this case negative 1. And then our c is our constant, which is the 15. So we are going to start off by doing x is equal to negative b. So b is really a negative 1 already. So if it's negative b, negative 1 would just be a positive 1. And then we have plus or minus. The reason for that is because when we square root something, we need to consider that the answer of that square root is either going to be a negative number or a positive number, because both of them will give you a positive answer. So then we are going to go ahead and plug in our b value again. So this is a negative 1. It's negative 1 squared. So we'll do that. And then we're going to do minus 4 times a, which in this case is negative 2. Then times the c value, in this case now it's 15. And we are going to go ahead and now put that all over 2 times a. And again, our a over here is a negative 2. And then we're going to go ahead, use order of operations, start underneath that square root symbol, and work our way through everything. So the 1 that we have here is going to stay 1 for right now, plus or minus, and then let's get to work over here under the square root symbol. Negative 1 squared, negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. And then over here we got negative 4 times a negative 2, which is a positive 8. And then we have our positive 8 times our 15, and that's going to give us 120. So positive 120. All of that over our 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. All right, so under the square root symbol now, we have a 1 plus 120, which is going to give me, just do this. So again, I'm just rewriting the first part. Plus or minus the square root of 121, which should be pretty easy for us to do, divided by negative 4. All right, square root of 121, like I said, should be a pretty easy one. That's 11. So we have x equals 1 plus or minus 11 divided by a negative 4. So let's start with the positive first, just because that's always the one I usually go to. 11 plus 1 is 12, and then 12 divided by a negative 4 is going to be a negative 3. So our first answer is negative 3. And then our second one would be if I do 11 subtracted from 1, which obviously is going to give me a negative 10. So negative 10 divided by a negative 4 is going to end up giving me a negative, negative divided by negative is positive 2.5. So my two answers that x can be equal to are either a negative 3 or a 2.5. And if you want more questions like this, you can find them on my YouTube channel, You Want Algebra. Check them out under the quadratic function section.